Hi everybody, my name is Shannon. Welcome to my channel, Another Yarn. Thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it. So today on our tour of what I got at Estes Park, we are looking at another vendor I personally hadn't heard of. Absolutely wonderful, was completely and totally impressed with Eric and Johanna Johnson. They have, they're making books. Okay, not just books. You've got children's books with knitting patterns in them. I mean, children's books as in reading children's books that have a character in them, and then the knitting pattern for maybe the character or some other things along with that. So you've got the wonderful story that you're reading to your child along with the book. I was so thrilled. This was one of the first things that hubby and I purchased at the Estes Park Wool Festival. Not only was it one of the first things, it was also one of the last things, because I bought a book and bonus, oh my gosh, bonus during the festivals, they also have some yarn kits. Remember, I stated that all my stuff had a purpose that I purchased, and I had kits, whether it was in a kit fashion or format or not. Like this one was the little squirrel, right? The little squirrel. I bought the pattern and the yarn to make a cowl. So I made my own kit. It wasn't an actual kit, but I made my own kit. And the same with the socks. I bought from Allie from Road Trip Yarn, I bought the Skeena sock and the mini. And then from Blackbird Sycamore, I bought the socks that are coming along amazingly, the sock yarn for my husband's socks, right? So I made in my own head kits out of everything, whether it was designed and marketed that way or not. That's what I did. But these, there was some, like I said, special bonus when you go to one of the shops of having those yarn kits. Look at this. This is on their Etsy shop. I just wanted to show that, if I can pull that up. Okay, now my stuff doesn't want to play nice. Why are we not playing nice? They have 7 different books. 3 of them are kids books, and then the other, or 4 of them are kids books, and the other 3 are other types of books. Like this one is Little Women, and based off of Little Women, and then you've got patterns that go with it. You've got Sherlock Holmes and patterns that go with that, and there's another one. So they've got different books that you can do, but the ones that got me were the children's series, and right now they're 25% off. I personally paid at the festival $20 per book. That was the way they were priced like that. To me, they were 100% worth it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, here I'm talking about it, but you haven't had a chance to see it. So we got Phoebe's sweater, and I've got the yarn kits too. Look at this, Phoebe's sweater. How adorable is that? And on the back, you can see the patterns. So you read the story to your child, to yourself, or what have you. You can make your kid the little sweater and your baby doll the little sweater to match. So you've got your whole thing. And when I talked to Johanna, what she also, and you can get them signed if you order it on Etsy, you can get them signed and say, hey, I would love to have a signed copy of this. I've got 2 of them that are not signed. One is, and the 2 that are not signed was because when we went back to get the 2 extra books at the end, Johanna was up and about and getting something else and everything, and her husband was right there. So I forgot to get the 2 signed, but that's okay. Not a problem. Let me see. After you get to the story, you have the knitting patterns at the end, and that is just such a gorgeous little, like a pea coat. Absolutely brilliant. And it can be adjusted for boy or girl, kind of a situation if you change your colors and what have you. Look at that. Look. Oh my gosh, isn't that adorable? That is fantastic. So you've got the stunning storybook, which I'm not going to read because you gotta buy the book. But you've got that, and then look, you can make the doll that goes with it, and you can dress the doll if you choose to in its very own little coat. And when I talked to Johanna, what she said is she made her designs very simplistic, not a lot of shaping, not a lot of realistic detail, and she did that for a reason. She had her whole concept for this is very Calvin and Hobbes-esque, where you've got all the design. Calvin and Hobbes was a very simplistic toy if you saw his toy, but when you saw Calvin's imagination, Hobbes was this massive tiger with all the stripes and everything else. And that's how she designed her patterns too, is to be more comfortable, more simplistic, to where the child's imagination really takes over. And I was absolutely thrilled. Did I just drop one of these books? Yes, I did. I was very, very thrilled with all of that. And that's what I got. And look at this. Here's the little yarn support that I was able to pick up for the Phoebe sweater. And I can make the little doll that she's got in the back with this. And this is a wool acrylic blend. And right now on the Etsy site, there's not the yarn support. They take that to all of the shows. I'll link all the shows down below, or at least I'll copy and paste on one of their websites. It gives where their shows are going to be for the rest of the year. If you're lucky enough, close enough, you can make it to one of those. I know they went to the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival. I'm no longer in the East Coast, but you know, if you were in the East Coast, you may have had a chance to see her. And there's other shows coming up. So they've got all their kits that they create to go along with their books at the yarn show. I think she said maybe November, just in time for Christmas kind of a situation. After all the shows and the festivals are done, they'll put the little yarn packs and things along that line that you can purchase if you choose to, that go with the book. But right now, the books, everything in their site is 25% off until June 17th. 25% off. That's less than what, like I said, I paid the $20 a book, and gladly, absolutely happy to get them. And right now the books are $14.21 to $14.96, so like $15. I paid $20 each. If you want them on Etsy, $15. And I think depending what you buy, you can also get free shipping. I mean, that's one heck of a deal. That is an amazing deal. Totally thrilled. If you know you've got kids, grandkids like I do, this is amazing. My husband wants me to do is to go ahead and wind up the yarn and make the dolls, make the things that I purchased, and then start reading the books to the kids. And I only have 3 of the books right now. I contacted Joanna, and I did order the 4th book that I didn't get at the show. I don't know why I didn't get that one, right? I got the other 3, but hey, yarn fumes. So I will have that one coming in the mail. But you know, with 7 grandkids, I think I might need an extra couple of books or something along that line. So we have, like I said, Phoebe sweater. And you know, I commented earlier in one of my other videos on the husband and wife teams that I got a chance to see during this particular Yarn Fest. Blackbird Sycamore had a husband and wife team, and it was wonderful to see them. Just like I said, the love in each other's eyes, the banter, how well they work together, dealing with their booth, everything else. Euphoria Yarns, also another hand dyer in Colorado. It was their banter, husband and wife, the banter that they had back and forth. It just did my heart good. I love to see that. That's just such a wonderful couple. And then seeing Eric and Joanna with the Slate Falls Press, it was fantastic. So Eric is the one who is doing the illustrating. So Joanna does all the knitting and creates the patterns, and Eric, her husband, is doing all of the beautiful artwork and illustrating. And if you don't want the children's books, they also have prints and things like that. If you like the artwork and you're like, yeah, I like the artwork, but I really don't need a kid's book, they have that available too. And look at this. I mean, that's talent. We know yarn work, but to do those types of things and to have the drawings and to create that, I mean, we're artisans. We're crafting artisans. We get it. And you can see, look at this. You can see that with the doll that they're carrying and everything. And you have the ability to make that doll in knitting patterns. So it's a husband-wife team that has collaborated to make the story, collaborated to make the knitting designs and garments to go with the story, to where you can just bring it 100% completely to life. And what's not to love about that? You give the children the value, instilling the value and the love of reading. You get to spur on the imagination. You're creating something. If you want to do the mommy and me type of a situation, you can do that. You can create something for your child and something for their doll as a matching, whether it's an actual baby doll, a teddy bear, doesn't really matter. Or in this case with Phoebe's sweater, you can make the doll. How cool is that? You can make the doll. And I had to get the stuff. We know that I had to get it. I mean, yes, please. And look at that. You can make that little doll and dress it if you choose to. That is spectacular. So I thought that was a lot of fun with this one. And, you know, then of course, had to come back. Had to come back and look at this. This one right here is Freddy's blanket. Oh my gosh, I'm just thrilled with that. I am absolutely thrilled. So on this one, you've got the platypus, and there's the pattern. They had each one on display made up also, so you got to see the size of it. You got to feel it. You got to just the craftsmanship of making it and everything and knowing the patterns in here. So we've got Freddy's blanket. You can make Freddy the platypus. And you can make Freddy the platypus in his overalls, or you can get the yarn kit, or, you know, get your own yarn and do the little dress and make it into the little girl or the little boy, either way. I was so thrilled. Oh my gosh, these to me, and this is the one I do have signed, these to me are just, I couldn't, they were so amazing. And the blanket is the little swaddling blanket right here. That's the blanket that you can make if you choose to. So you've got multiple patterns in here. You've got the overalls that the platypus wears for the doll, but you also have the overall pattern that you can make for your little boy or your little girl. And I thought that was a lot of fun. I had a chance to, my oldest son was over and I was showing him this, you know, book and everything that I had just gotten. And I'm like, oh, how amazing is this? And he's like, I like the overalls. Those are really cute. So I'm going to have to do that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Is that not the cutest little thing ever? I mean, that is adorable. And then look at this. If you choose to, you can make that for your child with the matching stuff. So it's not a matter of, you know how we tend to do everything for little girls because it's easier, right? The little frilly stuff. This one has boy and girl. And that is just absolutely adorable with the cute little platypus right there. I have to make the platypus. I did order the fourth book. The fourth book has a sewing pattern. I'll have to show you that one. And I do have some of the blue yarn coming, but I got at the kit, at the show, this is what I got. So to make the platypus and to make the little dress with it. So I do have more blue yarn, everything. So I'm going to make both. I'm going to make the dress and I'm going to make the overalls. It's going to be so adorable. And I think I'm going to have to make more than just a few of them. Otherwise, I'll have to stay at Nana's house and the kids can play with them when they get here. They can pull out the book. They can read the book. They can play with all the toys and things along that line. Because with 7 grandkids, that's a lot of stuff that, you know, got to whip out, right? You can do it. You can do it. Knit and crochet faster. You got this. You can do it. So let's see. Let me show you look at the swaddling blanket. Isn't that adorable? That is absolutely perfect. Just the cutest thing. And just for the perfect little swaddling for the babies. And that's just fantastic. What I also like, let me see if I can get it with just, look, it's got the hammer. You can make the hammer too. For the little overalls, you can make the little hammer. That is adorable. And you can tell, completely impressed. Just, I think what got me more than the yarn, more than that type of stuff, was the husband-wife couple living out their dream. I'm hoping it's the dream, right? You know what I'm getting at, right? I'm hoping that's the case. Living their dream and making things happen and sharing their love of reading, sharing their love of crafting, doing something together as a couple. And you could see, I could see it anyway, as Johanna was looking at her husband and everything, and he's running different things at the store and she's running different things at the store. And I just saw the connectedness. I saw the, you know, the adoration for each other. They just adored each other. And that just made the whole experience and everything so much better. Because when I had the opportunity to talk to Eric when Johanna was out of the booth and it finally calmed down a little bit, because when we were there first time, man, it was crowded. You know how that goes. If you've ever been to a fest, they can be pretty crowded. You're like elbow room only. Everyone's like, wait, I want that. I want to hear what's going on. What's happening? And when he was talking about her and discussing, oh yeah, she does all the knitting, she does this, and he was explaining, it's like the pea coat that it's like she made one of those at one point, and she did it in a bulkier yarn in like 24 hours. She was able to get that done, and he was just the pride that he had for his wife, and I think that made the whole experience so much better, so much more. It was love filled, and I think that in the books that comes through also. The whole experience that they're wanting to convey to you, your child, whatever it happens to be, is all of that. And I was so impressed, so thrilled. And it was wonderful to see this fantastic sale, this 25% off sale that they now have on Etsy until the 17th of June. You know, that's a big difference. I mean, I paid $20 a book. You know, you're going to get them for $15, and depending what you get, free shipping also. So you're not missing out. That is fantastic. The other book that I picked up in person is Henry's Hat. And look at that. And I have the stuff to make the little squirrel guy, the little badger, the squirrel guy. I did get the little kit that they had. Like I said, that is a bonus that they have at the festivals if you can make it to a festival. Oh my gosh, I'm so thrilled that I was able to make it to a festival. Let me pull up some of the patterns for this one. And the hat that they have is, Henry's hat is more like an aviator's hat right here. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So you've got that throughout the story and everything, and that's the particular hat that they're talking about. And they've got it in boy and girl styles, either one. And they've got the design right there for the sweater. So you can make the sweater and you can put on whatever alphabet that you want. So they've got the graph there to do that, to do your own special monogramming for that particular sweater. And look at this. This is Henry the Chipmunk. Look at that. I have the yarn kit that I picked up. I can go ahead and make the little chipmunk, and totally thrilled. Look at this. So I've got all the yarns, look like a little bouquet, all the yarns to go ahead and do that, to wind it up. I don't have to worry about coming back and figuring out sourcing it or anything along that line, like I don't have enough yarn. I mean, I was at a wool festival. I might as well get the yarn that they had on hand. I might as well do that. And then to find out that that's right now, it's a bonus for, while being at the festival, you can get yarn, so you don't have to look at that to try to figure out, go to somebody else's booth to look through the patterns and see, well, what do I need? How much do I need? Do I have it at the house? They're like, no, here's a kit. Here, there you go. You can get this bundle. You've got this. You can make it. You can immediately start winding up. And the fun thing about some of this stuff, look at that. You don't have the huge amount, since it's just what you need. You could do that in the car. I could have wound that into little cakes and little balls of yarn and everything in the car on the way home. Now that one would have taken a little longer because it's bigger, but you know what I'm getting at. This is like minis. This is like a mini. This is a mini plus, right? You know, it's just what you need to do the kit. Just what you need. That kit matches me. Look at that. Ooh, that's pretty. That matches me. That's nice. So that's just fun stuff. So the one that I didn't pick up while I was there, I did get, it is on its way to me now, is Phoebe's birthday. And Phoebe's birthday, you can get it as the, can I pull up the full kit? There we go. You can get this as the kit. This is the only one on Etsy right now that you can get as a kit. Check this out. This one's a sewing. That one's sewing. So you get the fabric to make the little doll up in the corner. You get the book, you get the fabric, and right now that is on sale for $24. One of the books, this size, right? That size, you get that. Phoebe's birthday, along with the pattern design and the fabric to make that particular little mermaid style. Look at that, little mermaid style. And that book has knitting patterns too. It has the hand sewn doll, but it also has knitting patterns. Let me pull. Let's see. We're going to show any of them in this one? Nope, not going to show them on this one. But it does have the knitting stuff also. So you can, if you decide that I want that book, I had to get it. I mean, I had to get the full set, right? I had to. It was a rule. I had to do it. It's, yes, Yes, I did. Let me see. I think this one will show it. And there's some other interesting options and fun stuff. Those are the ones that I got. I was, when we first went through, we just got the one book. I was trying to narrow it down. All right, which one do I want the most? Because it was one of the first things that it was one of the first booths that we looked at. It's one of the first ones we walked into, you know, and for this huge event with all these vendors, you don't want to spend all your allowance on the first stop, right? I mean, you know how that goes. So I just picked up the one book. I picked up the one yarn kit and went, okay, away we go, having fun. But they just kept talking to me. They did. I had to go back and I had to get more. And the other ones that they had, like I said, the Little Women's book and the Sherlock Holmes book and the other pattern books that they had. And they also had some bonus yarn bundles and stuff while we were there. And I was so tempted. I was so very tempted to just over purchase is a good way to put it. Like, I like everything here. I really do. I think I need all of it. And that's, yeah, I'm like, you don't need all of it, but I wanted all of it. I did want all of it. So on Phoebe's birthday, I knew I had it open. That is one of that right there, that little outfit with the headband and the cute little dress for the little girl. That's also in that book. Those are the patterns. Look at that. So if you've been wanting to make a dress for a daughter, a granddaughter, loved one, this is definitely the book. So Phoebe's birthday has those patterns in there. So you can make it for the doll, you can make it for your child. And those are just fun stuff. And like I said, the artwork, look at the artwork. The artwork is fantastic. And that's the type of graphics that are in the book. That's what you have going on. I was very impressed. There's just no other way to put it with everything that I saw. I did get a chance to talk to Joanna for a little bit and just absolutely impressed. I can see ordering for myself more of the books, taking advantage of this sale. Like everyone, like I said, I paid $20. You can get it for $15 now. But taking advantage of that particular sale, having a few more shipped and wrapping those and giving them to the grandkids for Christmas. I mean, I'm already committed to making Christmas things. As we know, I'm making the Christmas socks for the adults. The grandkids don't get socks. They get other things throughout the year. And this, I think, is an absolute wonderful thing of reading all the books and then deciding which book for each child and making the item. That's a big commitment. I mean, I know it's June right now and it's like, you got plenty of time. I make a lot of things and I start a lot of things. So that would be a pretty big commitment, but I'm kind of liking that idea. I'm liking everything about this and just the comfortable, the home, the family, the love that a book gives to a child, and then having that extra made something from Nana, right? And wrapping that up. I really like that idea. That I think I'm gonna have to take my own advice and go online and order some of these things and what have you. Just letting you know, I don't have any affiliate links. I'm not saying this, you know, if I have links down below so you can do this and I can make money. I don't have any affiliate links. I find pretty and I share pretty. I find beautiful stuff and I share beautiful stuff. If it's on sale and you guys can save money, go for it. If it's something that you like, by all means. If you're looking for that special gift, that special handmade touch, I think this is definitely it. Birthdays, Christmas, everything else. And we know when you're crafting, it takes time. We know this. So June for Christmas presents, when you're making stuff, is not too far in advance. Not at all. In some cases, you might be behind. All right, everybody, with that, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. You guys have a great day, night, evening, whatever it happens to be. And I will talk to you again later. Bye-bye.